This tutorial on VLOOKUPs is a very helpful tool to take information from one Excel sheet and importing it to a different Excel sheet. The only time you can do that is if there is a data point that is the same on both sheets. In this particular example, we have the invoice numbers which appear on both my Excel sheets. I have an age analysis which has an invoice number on it, and I have a client's remittance advice that has an invoice number on it. In this particular case, I've called this the data point. I have copied and pasted a PDF remittance to Excel. I have left some of the columns from the PDF onto this particular sheet so that I could show you how it can be messed up or it can be cleaned up before you start your functions. Some of the clients will include data like a space or a dot or a zero, or in this particular case they added a K next to the invoice number in the same field. I had to take it out. So I moved it into a different column, and then I have given each of my columns headings. So clean your data and put it in the correct columns. So it's important that you do the separation correctly before you start. All the columns have headings, and make sure that your data balances back. Column F balances back to the remittance advice that you were given, or the PDF document, that it balances. There's no point in doing a VLOOKUP if you're going to be importing information and it's not 100% correct. Right, then do a data sort on your invoice numbers. Now, presuming that your age analysis also would have had some data sorting on it. In this particular case, the data sort was by name. You can data sort the invoice numbers here too. If it doesn't get too messy, you'll see here how messy it did get. It started off with a 0 number and then it obviously grows, but we'll leave that like that. It's not a problem. You'll see why. Right, so we've got the prep on the remittance done. We're now going to go to the age analysis, where we're going to be putting the information to. So we've got an age analysis. I have 2 blank columns next to the total. My first column will be the gross data from the client's remittance that I want to input here. So that will be my first VLOOKUP field. So let's go ahead and do the VLOOKUP. I'm going to just drag this down a little bit so you can see the actual function. I'm going to go to the tab at the top, the function tab, and I'm going to start the VLOOKUP. You will see that I use a VLOOKUP on a regular basis. It is one of my first options. Click on that and I go to VLOOKUP. So what is the information I'm looking up? The information that I'm looking for is on the age analysis. First, it is where I'm looking for information to be inputted. What was the data input information that was the same on the remittance as well as the age? Was the invoice number. So that's where you click. And you only need to click one cell. You don't need to click anything else. One cell. Then it says, what is the table? Where do you want to fetch the information from? The information I want to fetch is from my remittance advice that I've downloaded and copied onto Excel, which also starts with the invoice number. I'm now going to say, click Shift, and I'm going to hold it in, and with the right arrow, drag my highlight across. I just need to move this up a wee bit. Across a couple of columns, and I'm going to include all of the lines for this particular function. Then you'll see on your formula here, it says I've selected B3, which is this reference here, right up to 55, column F, line 55. I want to now say which column index do I want to put in here. So when I selected this section here, we highlighted B3. So your index means, and I always look at my hand because every finger is an index. B is index 1, C, so that's B. This is C, that's 2, D, 3, E, 4, and F is index 5. So I want column 5's information to go into my age analysis. Your range lookup must only be correct. It cannot be anything else. It can't be false. It reads that word only, false. If you don't type in anything, it's going to look for something similar. So it'll maybe distort the 0, or add another digit or not add a digit. So please be precise by putting in false, because in this particular case, you're looking for the exact match. And then you click OK. So what it's going to do is going to give you a result, and it's telling you here that there's not applicable, it's not found. That invoice number does not appear on your remittance advice anywhere. I'm going to drop this down by clicking down double, and it will go right down to the bottom of my age. I'm now going to go to my filter, and you can see that it's picked up values. And right at the bottom are all my non-applicables. Can you see that there? I'm happy with that. But before I do any selections, I want to take this whole column, copy the column, and then paste it as a 1, 2, 3 value. What it's done is it's taken the formula for the VLOOKUP away. And if you don't do that, and you disconnect this remittance page, or you delete it, it does not know where you got the information from. I'm going to undo that so you can see what it looks like before I copied and pasted it. So if I click in the field, it's going to tell you that it was a VLOOKUP section, and it was looking up information on another sheet called VLOOKUP video content. Table this, row this, blah blah blah. It will go missing. It will not give you the results if you do not copy and paste this to a 1, 2, 3 value. Right? I'm going to redo that. Copy, paste to a value. Right. Now I've done that. I'm going to go back to my filter. I'm now going to go and deselect the not applicables. I'm now going to highlight my column, and I can see that my RAND value is 182.064.07 cents. And is that the same as my remittance advice? Let's double check. 182.064.07 cents. It balances. So my VLOOKUP was successful, and therefore my information has successfully been transferred. And that's how you do a VLOOKUP. So say now your columns had the K in it. Move the K out. That's the one thing. Say now you forgot to data sort the invoices here into smallest to largest. You would have to possibly go back to your VLOOKUP, and there is a solution. I actually don't want to show you the solution because it will teach you to do things in a particular way so that you don't waste your time looking for solutions to the errors that you do find. So if you have any questions, let me know. And here is a copy of the full data sheet on what you need to look at when you do a VLOOKUP and what you need to prepare. So just again, prepare your sheets. This is the actual VLOOKUP here. Let's drag that down. So your lookup value starts with where you want to put the information to. I want to put the information onto my lookup page, which is in this particular case the age. The table array is where do I want the information from, and then the index, what column number was I looking for the information on. This particular VLOOKUP that I did here as an example was column 7. The one that we used earlier on in this video was column 5. And then remember to copy and paste your information as a 1, 2, 3. Do not forget to do that, because you will lose the linked information. Thank you.